good evening, everybody. Welcome along to episode 2 of season 3 of the Tea and Tops. As always, it's Graeme taking you through the show tonight. As always, I'm joined by my good friend Jason. Jason, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. Got the intro back on. It's great. Sorry, Russia, you're missing out on the tunes, but you'll have to just catch it on the podcast.
That's it. Sound is looking crispy, if sound can look crispy. So yeah, good to get the show back. Good to be back, actually. I'm thinking the 2-week cadence that we're looking at for these for the shows this season actually works out quite nicely. For those of you who were expecting the podcast last Monday, I apologise profusely. It's up now, and if you were to look on Spotify, you'd think it had been there since last Monday, but it hasn't. I only put it up today, so I'll be honest enough to admit to that. But yeah, the podcast episode 1 podcast is up now. Thanks to Mike, long-time listener, first-time caller, for reminding us that I hadn't done it. Cheers for throwing me under the bus. Boss man Jason was in my ear today to get it done. So that's done. That is done.
That tells you it was a slow day at work when I'm like, well, we got to get the podcast up.
You mean you don't just do podcasts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Come on.
That's my Monday nights. Like I said, you may take a 2-week break, but I have to do another podcast every other Monday as well. So
hey, sucks to be popular, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, quite a few things to cover this week. We'll revisit a couple of topics from episode 1, most notably the Golden Mirror Bounty Chase, which has been ongoing since the launch of Series 1, still going at the moment. Also, while we've been away, the Tots Industry Summit was held in Arizona, coinciding with spring training as it normally does. Some pretty interesting news came out of there, actually. So we'll cover a few of the talking points from that. Jason will have his regular roundup on Bunt and if there's any Project 100 news. I'm not sure if there has been anything in the last couple of weeks, but we'll find that out. And then, as we hinted at in the title, we're looking a little bit this week at the Great British National Team, who are about to, they kick off their World Baseball Classic this coming Sunday, 8 p.m. UK. They take on Team Canada. Not quite figured out how I'm going to watch it yet, but I believe it's only available on BT Sport here in the UK. But if you're watching elsewhere in the world, I think we're still Russia's #1 baseball card podcast. I'm not too sure. I think the last time I checked the metrics, we were. So yeah, wherever you're watching the World Baseball Classic, you can see the debut of Team GB starting this coming Sunday. So yeah, let's move.
The first game is Saturday when they play Team USA at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So there you go, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Boy.
So
2 o'clock in the morning. All right.
If you're a West Coast fan, you'll be watching the game. You're used to those 2 o'clock in the morning games. I have no idea if you're using the pitch clock, so you're going to be up to at least 5 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, Sunday is when an actual decent time. That's when it starts.
Decent time. There you go. I should have properly done my research. That explains why nobody's talking about the US game, because it's going to be on at some ridiculous time of the day.
Pretty much, yeah. So
the first chance we'll get to see them at a reasonable time then will be Sunday at 9 p.m. So yeah,
funny enough, I think they have a warm-up game Thursday or Friday versus the Brewers, because I was listening to the Mariners-Brewers broadcast last night, and they were
interesting.
I was only stuck with the Brewers side of stuff, so I couldn't find out. But yes, the Brewers are taking on Team GP. So I'm assuming it's a split squad thing there, and they won't be facing Christian Yelich and the rest of the guys there. But still pretty cool that they play the Brewers, and that's not a bad thing to do at all.
No, not at all. That's really cool. I wonder if they'd show that on MLB TV as part of the spring training stuff. It would be one thing.
I didn't think about that. Well, maybe we'll find out.
Otani is currently playing with Team Japan. He hit 2 home runs the other night, I saw. So it looks like he's getting himself off to a hot start. So if you've not yet completed your fantasy baseball drafts, that might be worth keeping an eye on Mr. Otani. But yeah, 2 home runs he hit the other night in a warm-up game for Team Japan. So keep an eye on him. He'll be a fun watch as always.
Oh, I lied. So, talking about doing the research last minute. So, Team GP is playing the Royals on Thursday. It's the Royals. On Thursday at 8 o'clock at night. So, there you go. There might be a game on Friday. I don't know. But yes, they are playing the Royals on on Thursday, so it's going to be pretty much like an even matchup at that point.
Wow, that's really harsh on the Royals there, dude. Golly.
Watching, so well, he can give me abuse when he catches up on the podcast.
I'm sure he will. All right, so yeah, good luck to Team GB, and yeah, good luck to us in seeing some World Baseball Classic cards. Let's hope that happens.
Wednesday they play the Brewers. Thursday the Royals. There we go.
So you were right. So you were half right twice. That's pretty good.
So there we go.
That's pretty good.
So yeah. So there you go. So I'm surprised. Well, I'm sure it won't be a BT Sport, but yes, you can watch them if you have MLB TV. You can watch those games.
Maybe, hopefully they cover it as part of spring training. That'd be good. That would be good. All right, moving on then to the news from the last couple of weeks. And yeah, want to circle back to, we spoke a bit in episode 1 about the Golden Mirror Bounty Chase. So if you've not had a chance to catch up yet, in 2023 Top Series 1 Baseball, there's a super short print which falls to roughly 1.3 per case. It's called a Golden Mirror variation. Blowout Cards, the eponymous US retailer, is offering a bounty of $250,000 for the first person who turns in a complete set of all 330 Golden Mirror short prints. We were following along with a gentleman called Michael, I forget his second name, and I've closed his Twitter because I'm dumb, who, in conjunction with Real Breaks in Minnesota, who launched the Uncommon breaking platform. So it's been Uncommon Apps socials. It's been posted most of the updates. They are now at 329 of 330 of the Golden Mirror Super Short Prints are in hand. The final one is the Adley Rushman, which I imagine is going for quite a bit of cash. I believe a figure of around $1,000 was getting tossed around. That's the final one, and I believe, well, certainly as of the last update, which was just earlier on today, it was on the way to Real Sports Cards in Minnesota. So probably by tomorrow, maybe a Wednesday, the latest, they will have the complete set of 330 Golden Mirror Super Short Prints. The question remains, are they the first one, or will they be the first ones to get it, to blow out cards though? It's not done and dusted yet. I mean, this is, as far as I've done some digging around on Twitter, and I can't find anybody else building this set, or if they are, they're not talking about it. So we'll see if they get it over the line. Well, no doubt they're going to get it over the line, but are they going to be the first ones to get there? And are they going to get that $250,000 bounty? I kind of hope they do. I kind of hope they get it. I've been following it along. It's been a hell of an undertaking. It's been a hell of a financial commitment. I think we'll probably talk a little bit about some of the numbers behind it, because I think we've both watched a few of the updates that they've posted about the cost and how they've gone about trying to complete the set and stuff. But it's been a hell of a chase.
Yeah, we did share the video of them talking about the cost there. So they talked about what it was costing there. So I seriously doubt there's anyone else dropping $250,000, and that was pre-sale prices. You know, it wouldn't be one of those things. So, those guys are doing it. I wonder if I can beat them to it. And like, okay, I got $250,000 to drop on that. So, but yeah, it's really cool. I don't know if I would ever advertise which card I was missing, because again, then people just go, yeah, I'll just name my price now.
Yeah, I don't think they did until after they had secured it. Now, I might be wrong with that. You know, it felt a little bit like they released some of that conversation from inside an igloo a few days before, and I think they released the last part where they talk about the fact it's Adley that they need. I think they released that after they had secured it, and I think for that very reason, if it had got out that was the one that was still needed, then, like you say, the prices just would have been ridiculous. I think the most fascinating part was, I believe that they ordered 300 cases of Topps of Series 1 Jumbo at $9.50 a case, and I believe they opened 180 and they had 120 cases left over. So in that time between ordering at $9.50 a case, Series 1 Jumbo cases are now going for like $1,500. So he's potentially up $600 on each of them. So that's almost enough where if you sold the 120, you've made back like I've not done the exact math, but you probably made, if you could sell all of his remaining 120 cases at current retail, he's made back 2/3 of the investment already, just in the change in the case prices for the ones that's not been opened.
That's not bad.
That's wild.
That doesn't include all the hits they've had either, plus all the base cards and everything else there. You're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I only saw one update on what they had sold on eBay. So all the hits and stuff as they pulled on them were just getting put straight onto eBay. And I saw in the first weekend, I think they did about $37,000 worth on the first weekend. I think they were only doing like 2 or 3 day auctions, as you would on a new product. And the stuff was flying out the door. So they'd done like 5 figures on eBay in the first weekend. You're looking at a positive of $600 a case, and you've got 120 cases, still to sell. So yeah, now of course, one of the parts of it that we talked about again in the first episode was they went to another local card store in Minnesota and bought a bunch of the super short prints there. And I remember I commented that all they were doing were just slapping Benjamins down on the table. Just I don't know how many they bought, but they actually forked over $4,800 to that other card store to buy some of their Golden Mirror short prints. I saw that, and I'm not too sure how many they walked out of. They seem to have like a reasonable stack of them, but yeah, I know they paid $4,800 in cash for a little supply. So it'll be interesting to see if he does go through the full. This is what it cost me. This is how we've made everything back, and this is the final profit. I don't suppose it will, but might give at least a ballpark figure. I think that would be kind of interesting.
I think they do, but I think they also run into the risk that next year somebody else is going to beat them to it, or try it. But okay, well, like I said, I can at least break even. I mean, they spent how many days opening baseball cards? I mean, like somebody would be like, okay, like I'm a investment manager and I can take a week off work and spend $400,000 on cards and see what happens. It would be kind of fun. Although by like day 2, I'm sure he'd be tired.
So I think at the peak there was 4 of them concurrently opening boxes to try and get these. And yeah, they made a pretty big dent in it after like 5 or 6 days. It was kind of after 5 or 6 days, I felt like they were slowing down at the rate they were opening cases, because they were starting to get to that tipping point where it becomes more economical to go after singles than it does to keep ripping cases. Yeah, I mean this trend will continue. So although there's $250,000 on the line for this, the overall bounty for the Golden Mirror short prints, if you submit a complete set, so that's all 990 Golden Mirror short prints between Series 1, Series 2, and Update in PSA 10 to blow out, they'll give you $1 million, and you've got until the end of March next year to complete that little task. So I would assume that they will also do a $250,000 bounty on a complete set from Series 2 and a $250,000 bounty for the complete set from Update as well. So we might see another 2 of these chases this year.
That could be interesting because I think people will see the dollar signs and go, yep, I can do that. And then actually have a proper race about it, because I don't think they would advertise it. They would just do it as quiet as they could, hire 6 or 7 friends and go, let's just rip the crap out of this.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, I mean, I'd take 1/6 of $250,000. I can't be arsed working that out, but I would like 40 grand, 40, a bit over 40 grand. I'd take that for maybe a 10 grand investment. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I say, they're 1 card away. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be first over the line to get the $250,000. But I guess by our next show on March the 20th, we will know the answer to these questions, and we can maybe round this conversation out. It would be nice to try and get the dude on the show. I'll be honest. And once it's out the way, I think I'll reach out and see if he wants to come on the show. It'll be fun I think it'll be a fun conversation, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, I'm sure that would be a unique opportunity for him to talk to you. UK's #1 sports card podcast.
That's it, yeah. Russia's #1 baseball card podcast. All right, then, moving on from that, Topps Industry Summit. So just a few days after we came off air, of course, that's the way it always works. In fact, it was just last week. Topps had their Industry Summit, which they have every single year. It's a bit of a collector's conference, predominantly aimed at hobby shop owners and that kind of thing, and industry professionals. in the States. This year, I think it was held at Chase Field in Arizona. It's usually done in Arizona around spring training, just so people can go and catch games. They often have baseball players and stuff turn up to this conference as well, as you can shake hands and meet people. But yeah, a lot of interesting news came out of the summit this year from, of course, Fanatics Collectibles, who are the umbrella organization that own Topps and own all the licensing and stuff like that. So just to kind of recap briefly the main talking points then. So Fanatics are saying they're still committed to 10xing the hobby. That's their parlance. They want to 10x the hobby, despite the fact that there was a slight contraction in the market from the last year, which I think a lot of people are putting down to a slightly subpar rookie class, which affected the purchasing somewhat. So yeah, they're still looking to increase by 10 times, whether that's revenue or that's engagement or that's reach, I'm not too sure, but they're still using this 10x moniker as their benchmark for growth of the hobby. I mean, considering they're going from having one license, which was baseball, to having NFL and NBA and NHL, then yeah, they're probably going to be able to do their 10x just because they have all the licenses. But yeah, we'll see how they actually quantify that as we move forward, I guess. Another one of their main priorities is to improve the customer experience. To use their quotation. And part of that is they're looking to completely eradicate redemptions altogether. Now, this is obviously something we've spoken about at great length. I know a lot of collectors, not just in the UK here with us, but around the world, are deeply frustrated by the whole redemption process, whether it's Topps or Panini or anybody else. So the fact that they're willing to acknowledge it and they're willing to talk about it, I think, is a good first step. But as to how far or what steps they're going to take to try and eradicate redemptions altogether, well, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we saw what happened last year when Leaf took the unique step to take a player to court because he hadn't signed his cards, and then lo and behold, 2 weeks later, the cards turned up signed, and thank you very much. So whether or not they're going to take a bit more of a hardline stance on it, I'm not too sure, but let's see. I think all collectors will see that as a positive thing, and so, are certainly hopeful that we can get rid of redemptions. Of course, part of this problem is to deal with redemptions that people are still waiting to get filled as well. I have 2 redemptions for the same card on behalf of 2 collectors here in the UK that I'm waiting to get redemption for. One of them, we even asked for a replacement, which you can do with Topps. If you've waited long enough, you can ask for a replacement card of similar value, and they'll try and fob you off with some horseshit. And we've been waiting, I think, 6 to 8 months, maybe more than that, just for them to even offer an alternative to the card that we should have had in the first place. So that's terrible. They've got. That is. We've got a long way to go. But it's good that they're talking about it. It's good that they're acknowledging it, and yeah, it's good that they seem to have some kind of plan of dealing with it. How long it takes, like I say, and when it will actually happen, these are 2 very different questions.
It's one thing talking about it, and it feels like it's a lot of hot air, and then it's still going to take 2 or 3 years to sort it all out there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's their conference, right? They know they're going to get asked these questions, so they might as well try and head them off before people start asking more pointed questions about, well, what about X, Y, and Z? It's fine you're saying it, but yeah, what about people who have got redemptions been waiting for years? Are you going to chase player? Blah blah blah. So to at least acknowledge it and talk about it, like I say, is good. Let's wait and see what happens in the coming weeks and months.
There's always hope. Like I said, there's always hope that you can do it. You want to hold out for the best for them, but they have a track record of just not doing it. So it's going to take a long time to build some confidence in turning into redemption. So,
well, absolutely, and not just in redemptions. A lot of, they need to get a lot of trust back. But let's see. So speaking of the coming weeks and months, we're expecting at some point in March that the direct quote from Fanatics was, "Within the next month, we will have the biggest product announcement in a generation." Now, that's a pretty bold statement. No other hints or clues were given. I don't know if it's baseball specific, if it's anything to do with the NBA or the NFL licenses that they have as well, but they've dropped that teaser, the biggest product announcement in a generation. Thoughts on
NFTs. They're going to be NFTs.
Again.
We sorted it out this time.
They're finally going to monetize Bunt. There you go. That's or further monetize Bunt. Obviously, you can pay to play in Bunt, but yeah, that could be interesting. On the subject of NFTs, it's funny you bring that up. I noticed in our NFT group that we have for the UK and EU guys who are into the NFTs, the Wax platform that Topps initially launched on, so not topsnfts.com, but whatever, I can't remember what it was called, the first one.
It's been so long.
Exactly. Yeah.
Season
one.
Season one.
Season one. Yeah. I don't remember the name of the platform. It doesn't matter for the purpose of this conversation. But the Wax platform is actually being migrated away to a different crypto wallet. So if you were an early adopter on Topps NFTs, and you were in the very first, Jason's just plunged into darkness. If you were in the very first drop of NFTs on the Wax-based platform, you might want to go and check your account because they're migrating Wax away to a different crypto wallet. So that's something that's maybe worth checking up on. If it is an NFT announcement, that would be hilarious because I think we all know that's a flash in the pan and it's not going to be the biggest product announcement in a generation, but you never know.
I'm just looking it up right now and there's a Topps NFT Play Topps app thing, but there was something else I want to say. It's been so long, I've completely forgotten.
It's been a long time since I was on the Wax platform, that's for sure.
You know what? I think it was just Topps NFTs. I think that was it, and it was obviously the Wax platform. So
yeah, I did manage to get myself verified on the new platform, but I still can't withdraw my money. So
Avalanche. It was Avalanche.
Avalanche. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So maybe check out your Wax if you think you still have some remaining, because you'll need to migrate it or you'll lose it. I think is what's happening.
I have some. I saw that post. It's on my list of things to do. It's just
it's
am I really worried about it? I've not touched it for 2 years. I don't know what's even on there.
Could be millionaires now.
Oh
yeah. So let's wait and see. We'll obviously cover that announcement when it comes as well, and we might be eating humble pie. Maybe it will be something that will transform the industry. But we'll see.
It's a tough one. Like I said, 30, 40 years of card collecting. I don't know what else you could do that's going to blow you away. Like it's going to transform it. It's a tough one.
Yes, yeah. Unless they're going to put video onto physical trading cards or something. I don't know. With flexible OLED screens and stuff, you never know what could happen. But that's maybe 10 years away. Yeah. We've only just got folding phones back.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be curious to see what they say. I guess we'll find out this month, hopefully soon.
Hopefully. So it looks like Fanatics are going to put a bit more effort into relic cards moving forward. Now, relic cards, the general impression I certainly have of them within the collecting hobby is that people don't really give a hoot about them. We joke ad nauseum about napkin patches, and it's like, oh yeah, look at this player worn jersey, and you see these pictures of guys wandering around wearing literally 30 jerseys at the same time, and these jerseys get cut up and put into products. Occasionally you get a nice patch with a bit of pinstripe or something in it, or maybe there's like a couple of colors or a bit of the badge or something, but most of the time it's just like a plain piece of fabric and nobody really gives too much of a hoot about them. Fanatics seem to be addressing this and trying to bring a bit more game used and game authenticated, relics into products. So 2 specifics that they announced: Moments That Matter is going to be a new relic set. So the example they gave was if a prospect gets their first hit in the league, then you might get a little bit of the base from that actual game, and presumably it will have some kind of authentication on it, whether it's the MLB hologram or if it's the Fanatics hologram that's going to be on there to authenticate that it's from that game. So that's Moments That Matter.
So that's when they increased the big sizes, didn't they? They go, all right, we can increase it by an inch all around and sell more of it.
Yeah, you can sell more of it. That's a great idea. You can get more relics per base. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
as an unexpected byproduct. And there's another one called First Stitch, which I think is a very clever name. So these are going to be patch cards of the very first jersey Fanatics creates for a new player. And that's going to be included in Topps update this year. So we'll see what those are like. That sounds a bit less like it'll be like game used or event worn or whatever, rather than just a more of a manufactured relic like we see in Series 1. But I guess it's something nice and I guess reasonably unique towards that player. And there would only be a very limited number of those if it's just if it's relics that are going to be taken from just one jersey. So that'd be quite cool and quite limited as well. So that's coming in Topps Update, which is the third flagship release of the year. Usually comes fairly late in the season. So let's see what they look like. But I think that's quite good that they're trying to rejuvenate at the least, or bring some variation to relic cards and maybe try and get them a bit more front and center in the hobby. Of course, everybody wants that rookie autograph card and everything else. But yeah, if they can create some more buzz and demand around relics, I think they'll be doing well.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know what else you can include. I mean, bases, shoes,
hats. We've had everything.
Hat, yeah.
Cleats.
Cleats.
It had entire cleats in a release like a couple of years ago. I can't remember which one it was now, but yeah, you could get an entire cleat from the bottom of somebody's shoe. We've had eye black. We've had pretty much everything. If you can cut it up and put it in a card, it's been put into a card. But yeah, I think the fact that these are more kind of can be authenticated and have come from certain games, which obviously brings a little bit of a premium, then I think that's kind of nice rather than just a generic relic, which could have come from anywhere really. But yeah, let's see how that goes. Again, I'm interested to see what they look like. I quite like the sound of the moments that matter ones, where it's unique games. If it's someday, I don't suppose somebody will get the single season hit record anytime soon. I think Ichiro's got that one in his pocket for a little while, but
for a long time, yep.
Yeah, like something like that happen, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, you're never likely to get ball like relics that are parts of balls from things like this. Like first major league hit, because they're just going to go back to the player. They're not going to get cut up and put into a card. I always thought that ball relics would be kind of good. That sounds like something really strange to say out loud. Baseball relic. I'll stop calling it ball relics. Relics from baseball.
Relic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at my ball. Like that would be kind of cool. Even if it was like a ball, I guess if it's a ball from the game where they got their first hit, like that's doable. How many baseballs do they go through in a game? Like 80, so
yeah, it's a lot there. I think it's almost 100 now. I mean, basically the ball touched dirt, we'll throw it out. That's what it is there.
That's true. Yeah. We'll see. Like it's nice if they've shown a bit of a spotlight on relics and they want to do something with it. You don't hear them talked about too often, so that's quite cool.
Another thing they announced. Curveball Keepsakes does all the stuff with that.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot.
Sorry, interrupted.
Come back this year. I know you didn't. Yeah. The MVP buyback program is coming back for 2023. So last year, if you from Topps Chrome, I believe it was, if you pulled a card of the AL or NL MVP, which was Aaron Judge, and I can't remember who the Goldschmidt, I think, was the NL MVP.
It was right? Goldschmidt, yeah.
Yeah. So if you pulled their base card or any parallel from Topps Chrome, Topps or Fanatics, Topps, whoever, would buy it back from you for a set amount. So base cards would give you $10, and then refractors and parallels went up from there. I think right up to about $150 a card. So they're bringing that back for 2023, and they're saying that this program is going to be joined by additional efforts, and these are all aimed at helping to drive collectors back to their local card stores. So the idea is if you have any of these cards, you take them to your local card store and you can exchange them for store credit. And that helps, of course, people get, helps card owners get people in their shops again who might make other purchases, and that. So I think that's quite a nice way of trying to build that relationship between Fanatics and between the card shop owners. When the news first broke, obviously, about Fanatics taking over all the licenses, buying over Tops, I think quite rightly there was a lot of chat about what's this going to mean for your local neighborhood card store, because it's a bit like the old Amazon effect. I think everyone just assumed that everything would go online and you'd be buying direct from Fanatics, and that was going to be the end of it. It could, it could be a bit of a death knell for the local card shop. It looks like they're making major strides to make sure that's not the case. They obviously see the value in the local card shop. I guess they're supporting that in a way by starting to rescind some of the distribution deals that they have with the big distributors in the US, so that local card stores can go direct to Fanatics to get stock and don't have to go through a third party. It'd be interesting to get to talk to a card store owner at some point to see what they think, how they think it's going to play out now compared to maybe what they thought this time last year, and are these initiatives actually having an effect? It'd be good to try and get some insight there. I'll sort of try and do that for a future show.
Right.
But yeah, that sounds pretty positive.
I might try Mill Creek Sports because they do all stuff there. I can play in the hometown connection.
Look at you with your Seattle contacts.
Yeah, well, I said don't know, but I'll be like, hey, look at me. I grew up in Seattle. I'm in Scotland.
Yeah.
Hey, come chat to us, please.
Of course, I had a perfect opportunity when I was in Florida. Not 4 weeks ago. I was in Florida. Never had a chance. There for 2 weeks and didn't do a single baseball card related task. Terrible. I sold one card. I sold one card in a group and I shipped it. There you go. That was the extent of my baseball card extravaganza when I was in the States. It'd be nice to get some of that insight to see if they think that Fanatics maybe are going to be a good thing for the local store rather than, like say, having the Amazon effect, which I think we all hope will happen. Get your credit card ready. But my big prediction for this year was that the prices were going to go to the moon. I think if you have any designs on getting involved in Bowman Draft this year, you're going to have to really dive deep in that wallet, because it was announced that Tom Brady is going to have cards and autographs in Bowman Draft this year as part of a new subset called Draft Picks That Never Were. So Brady was drafted by the Expos. At the same time, he was drafted to the NFL when he finished college in 1972 or something. I don't know. He's like 100 years old. So Brady's going to have cards and autographs in Bowman Draft this year. So yeah, normally not a frightfully cheap product anyway, because it comes in jumbo and super jumbo configurations. The super jumbo of last year's product is still available right now for anything up to $700. I think we're going to see $1,000 for a super jumbo out the gate if it's got Brady autographs in it.
Dang. No one wants Kyler Murray. Come
on. Not anymore.
No.
So we'll see. Well, I mean, that's a huge announcement to start that series with, and presumably there'll be others as well. But yeah, to head out the gate with Brady is a pretty big announcement.
Well, he's got a lot of free time these days, so why?
That's true, man. No wife, no kids, no job.
Exactly. He can send all the autographs he wants. His golf and autographs. He's good to go.
Yeah. Send that guy 4,000 cards to sit and sign.
That could be really interesting, because there's a lot of guys that were probably drafted that went into college football and football and that way. So they chose their path there, but they're obviously enough of an elite athlete that can pick up a bat and whack the ball or throw it 85 miles per hour. So
yeah, your ex-quarterback, whose name escapes me right now, who's now
Russell
at Denver.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson, thank you.
Yes, and your ex-quarterback as well. Jameis Wilson. Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis, yeah.
Yes,
true, yeah.
He was a closer for Florida State.
Was he really? I didn't know that. And other Saints-related news, he was signed Derek Carter 4-year contract today. There you go. That was rather out of the blue.
He's good. Wasn't good enough for the Raiders, so he's perfect fit for you guys.
That's I know. God, let's see how that pans out. So yeah, let's. So Bowman draft going to be expensive this year. So if you're going to play that prospect game, you're going to be paying for it.
I'm just laughing at myself there because I'm hoping that someone, if you don't follow NFL or that, so the Kentucky quarterback Will Levis, like that, the dude puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Like literally, there's a video of him doing that, mixing it all up. So there's gonna be a mayo relic.
What kind of psychopath puts mayonnaise in coffee?
Just go look at it. Just do a search and like that. Yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw that. And I have a friend who was talking about trying it out, and I said, "Well, please let me be there when I want you to try that out, because why would you put mayonnaise in coffee?"
I'm not sure I'm on board with that in the slightest.
No, I've had some weird stuff, and that crosses the line. So, but yeah, you can have a mayo rally for next year.
Oh, right. Moving very quickly away from that one. The final bit of news then. Good news, bad news, I don't know, it depends how you feel, but the Topps also announced that they're putting a number of products on hiatus. So some are being retired, some are being put on hold, but they didn't clarify which ones are going to be retired and which ones are going to be put on hold. So the affected products, get your immediate reaction as I go through each one. So Clearly Authentic.
Yeah. Not fussed by that one.
I'm kind of sad to see that one go because it was a very unique set. I like an acetate card. I'd rather have that than Chrome, and I'm going to get on and moan about Chrome at some point. I might, maybe do the bunt talk first because I feel like I'm running out of steam already.
Episode.
We could. Do you know what? I'm cross about it to that extent. I'm kind of sad to see the back of Clearly Authentic. Hopefully it comes back. Bowman Chrome X.
I didn't even know that existed.
There you go. So Bowman Chrome X was born out of a partnership with StockX. So the first year that Bowman Chrome X became available, it was only available on StockX. Well, this year, or just at the back end of last year, I think it was only available direct from Topps. And I thought, well, that's stupid because it's supposed to be a collaboration with StockX. So why are you still doing it if it's nothing to do with StockX anymore? Not surprised to see the back of that. It was ugly, and I wasn't the only one who thought that. Gold label.
I like it on bunt. The cards are nice.
So it's gone but not forgotten because 22 gold label is still slated to come out and is due for release this month. So I guess after this release, so there won't be a 2023 gold label, but 2022 gold label is due this month. Yeah, I kind of liked it. It's kind of a conflicted set because you have 3 individual base cards for each player. So that, like, the base set on paper seems small, but if you really want to do the whole set, you need to collect all 3 variations of each card, which it makes it a bit confusing and a bit difficult. If they're trying to position products more towards new collectors and grow the hobby, that's a confusing set to get into. Like I say, I quite like the one autograph, the gold framed autograph in that transcendent style. Yeah, it was kind of a cool thing. We've got Gilded Collection now, which takes over a little bit from it, which was a new release this year, which has more of that gold superfractor feel to the base cards, but also has that one gold framed autograph. So it seems like Gilded Collection is going to take over from Gold Label. Opening Day has also met the chopping block.
Yep, I mean, I know that's one of your personal favorites, and I bought a box like 2 years ago. It was a fun, cheap break, and just kind of get some cards, and of course, everyone's favorite part of that, mascots.
Mascot cards, yeah, mascot cards. And so not just mascot cards, but yeah, it was one of the cheapest entry points into the hobby. It's very surprising. I'm very surprised it's going away. Big League sits alongside it as a kind of entry-level product aimed at the younger collector, which is what Opening Day is. But Opening Day was Opening Day was really the flagship product, but just on a cheaper paper stock. So like thinner paper, not quite as vibrant, which obviously kept the cost down. But it was a really good way to get kids and stuff into the hobby because it was cheap. It was like $50 for a box, and you got, hobby variations. So you got 20 plus packs in a box, so a couple of bucks for a pack. you can't get hardly anything in this hobby now for a couple of bucks. So surprised to see opening day going away. I think they're revamping Big League in some way to make up for it, and it's going to be the kind of entry level, fun, aimed at kids product moving forward. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with 2023 opening day.
Or just go buy boxes of 88 Dunners and get your kids into that. So
that's it.
Cheapest thing you can buy.
Yeah. Teach them about fantastic facial hair and powder blue uniforms. The first edition variations are going away. Now, I've seen this reported in a couple of different places. One place I saw it is specifically Bowman first edition, and then other places I've seen it reported as all first edition products are going away. I'm hoping it's the latter, because the first edition thing is just a bullshit money grab. A bit like Panini's first off the line offerings, where they offer you the same card essentially, although I think the Panini ones might have additional prisms in it depending on, or different colors depending on what product it is. But that's always seemed like horseshit to me, is the same product with a little first edition stamp on it that they charge you more for. But collectors almost universally rejected them. Especially in Bowman, it was still that traditional first Bowman card, not first Bowman first edition, which attracted the money. Exactly, it's ridiculous, right? It's even daft saying it out loud. So yeah, not sad to see the back of those personally.
Cool. And we got a comment from Laura just saying that she's loved opening day and she's gutted it's not happening the year. So yeah, there's a few of us out here. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we're the sensible ones, right?
We don't have millions to go spend on these. We can't go drop a $250,000 to go buy 300 boxes of cards.
We're not chasing that 250 grand bounty, that's for sure. You'll be sad to hear that Fire has gone.
I am. I didn't realize that it's been around for 8 years. So it's always been a Tyson Beck thing. And I imagine Tyson Beck's just probably just moving on. I mean, his career's kind of taken off since Project 2020, and he probably just doesn't have the time to design these anymore. So, yeah, I like that. It was a fun set. It was a silly set. I enjoyed it.
It grew on me more and more. I'll be perfectly honest. Tyson Beck obviously does a lot with soccer cards as well. So again, I'm not sure if this is just specifically baseball or if this applies. I think Fire also, there was also a soccer version of Fire. So I'm not sure if this applies across all licenses or if this is just baseball. It would be a shame, because that was kind of, I guess, Tyson Beck's set. But he does so much for other sets, and he had his Topps X Tyson Beck set and everything as well. So I'm sure he'll be fine. Another one I'm kind of sad to see the back of is Gallery, Topps Gallery, which only just came out actually, the 2022 version. We broke some of it. Did a break of Gallery. It was my first break back since July, and just a little bit towards the end of January, just before I went away on holiday. I like Gallery. We've spoken to a few Topps artists on the show, and they've had cards on Topps Gallery, and it just seems like a pity that one of the more art-focused sets is going away.
Yeah, I think we should probably reach out to Josh, offer him some seltzers to make sure he's doing okay. And but yeah, like I said, it was a fun set. Again, it was the artwork out of that was amazing. So I'm curious to hear their take on it, and maybe it's just taking too long to actually get people to finish the cards. I know Josh said it was always in a rush for him to get things at Topps deadline. And what was it? I think this year's set, he has 30 of the possible 50 cards that was doing. So can you imagine trying to do 30 cards in time for that? True, I mean, that's insane. So
yeah, I mean, you're right. There is still museum collection. So there's still art focused sets, I guess, and there's still work for card artists as well. Can't really give Carson Kelly a double chin. Yeah.
But it's also the same thing. So another person I know, Maz Adams, is actually signed with Fanatics and does work with Fanatics now. But I think he's gone more into prints now. So you might see that where it's gone away from cards to more print style thing, which makes sense. So because Maz has been doing that for at least 6 months now. So there might be a few other guys to get folded into the mix and do it that way. Yeah,
it would be interesting to catch up in the artist space and see what they feel about it, for sure. Watch out for that in a future show. All right, I have talked the bollocks off this for 45 minutes, so that is, I know, right? I'm gonna go lie down for a minute. That's all the exciting news that came out of the industry conference. I'm glad they don't happen every month. So yeah, I'm gonna let you talk about Bunt for a little while
now. Briefly about Bunt. So obviously it's been 2 weeks now there. So what's come out lately was Chrome Black. So you have till Friday to pick up anything you want from Chrome Black there. 5-star came out while we were gone. Another one that you have to spend a lot of money to get a bit of anything out of it. And then Stadium Club Series 3 has come out. So spend all your coins on your Stadium Club there. And of course, to throw that in there as well, they've had Finest and Gallery came out today. So it's been a busy time at Topps. I've seen my coins slowly dwindle. They need a contest there, and it really feels like a kind of a cash grab. So we know on Monday there's some sort of set that you probably have to spend either a lot of coins or money to collect, and then you have your normal Friday set, and of course they have something come out every day to try to get all your coins. So if you're a free-to-play player, it's been tough times, and I'm kind of hoping something kicks off soon to kind of get me back into it. I don't know. I don't know if it's just I'm burnt out on it, or there's been no contest that I really care about, because the current contest for you open up 30 packs to get a home run card isn't really that exciting. And I don't know. I mean, at least last year we had Heritage twice to keep it interesting and build the coins up, but it's been a slow time at Bunt. I don't know. Maybe I'm just done. Maybe I'm just enjoying Star Wars now. I don't know.
Yeah, they have certainly bombed out a whole load of releases, which, like you say, hasn't helped. So I was away from Bunt for quite for a while, probably maybe it's like 8 weeks or something without actually going into the app. And then I tried to do all of February. Then I got annoyed because I missed 3 days in February, and I wasn't going to complete the month set, so I fell out with it again. So I've picked it up as of the 1st of March. I'm determined to complete like the whole month for the daily tickets. We were given 11 tickets on the 1st of March, and the rumor I've heard is that 2023 Bunt is coming on March the 20th. So you've maybe only got 2 weeks to do what you want to do, because it sounds like there could be some pretty big changes coming on the 20th of March. Now, whether this is going to coincide with the biggest product announcement in a generation, I've no idea. But apparently March the 20th is going to be when 2023 Bunt drops. So let's see how that goes. I currently have 8.3 million coins, so they better not be fucking with my coins. But yeah, every time I open it, it feels a bit overwhelming with the amount of sets and stuff that's going on right now. So I open it up, I open my mystery boxes, I take my 5,000 coins, my 2,000 coins, I do my 3 spins, I go through my contest. I like that you don't have to enroll in contests anymore. That's a nice change.
That is a nice change.
So I go through, or events, sorry, I don't have to enroll in events. So I go through and I tick off anything I need to do from my events, and then I tend to put it down and come back the next day. I do enough to I'll try and complete all the daily tasks, which is why you get sent random trade requests at like 2:30 in the morning, because I'm lying in my bed going, shit, I've not done Bunt today. And that's when I try and get through all my dailies. But yeah, outside of that, I've not really, I didn't get into the whole let's hoard some of the gold parallels, because we saw enough people with 5,000 of one card to know that it was just going to be a fruitless endeavor.
No.
So yeah, I've been completing my daily tasks and just trying to stockpile some coins. And I've stayed away from sets almost entirely. I'm really hoping they have the tribute crafting events again, because they were really good the last couple of years.
I really enjoyed the tribute one. The tribute one was much more fun than the Heritage one. So, but I think Heritage was a poor set, so I think it was probably easier to go, we'll stick on Heritage because we know it's shit, and people will at least play it. But it's also very funny because obviously I played the crap out of it because I wasn't working at that point in time, and I kept all the good players like Trout and Bichette and right there, and the rare cards there are just over 10,000 cards, which now on Bunt isn't a whole lot. There's so many people playing Bunt, like rares just go up there now. I mean, depends on what set it is there, but I mean, it's really weird. You've kind of seen it slowly dying off, like with Stadium Club. Like I hit a super rare, and those are only getting around 500 now, but the rares have just become super common. So it's really funny to think, if I trade these off or throw it as an extra, I'll get this trade over. And now I'm kind of going, well, maybe I should keep on to them because they're not that high as they used to be.
No, that's it. Yeah, it feels like we've seen a bit of an influx of players in the bunt because, like you say, those card counts are going up, and I guess that's a byproduct of that. You might be able to correct me on this, but it feels like there's a few more limited sets coming out now, and I mean limited in the fact that there's only X amount of coin packs that as a free player you can get, and then once that million packs or whatever is sold out, the only way you can buy them is through diamonds.
Yep, that's your Monday set. That's what the frustrating thing is. So if you're trying to put sets together, you know you're gonna have to spend money to put that set together, or find somebody that has spent money and you can trade away with that. But again, people with the hoarding thing is probably the worst of everybody in trading. So I've just tried to stay clear of trading as much as possible because it's just gone downhill very quickly. Where people, again, want Mike Trout for Evan White or Kyle Lewis or Shed Long,
That's mainstream.
So yeah, so it's kind of just changed it there. I'm kind of hoping maybe with opening day things might change, and of course there's always hope that there is a World Baseball Classic set that comes out. I think there was previously.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that would pique my interest there to see if they come up with that, and that'd be kind of a fun set to collect. I mean, there were the London Series cards. I was able to trade those from somebody who didn't particularly care about it, but yeah, maybe we'll find some World Baseball Classic cards. That would be a fun one. You get a lot of superstars in that one, and then a lot of random people you've never heard from Czech Republic. So
and Great Britain. Yeah. Well, if you're frustrated with bunt and you want to deal with some fair-minded traders, this seems like a good opportunity to remind you of the Tops Bunt UK and EU community group that Jason and I are a member of. We're a small but dedicated bunch who play regularly here in the UK. And yeah, we're I guess a bit easier going than some of the hardcore. So yeah, come check out if you're on the old Facebook. Tops Bunt UK and EU community is the group that Jason and I are in. You can find us in there.
Absolutely, it's a friendly group, and if you join the other group, there'll be sales posts after sales posts for people who have spent the money on that there. So it's up to you.
Yeah, and good luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess then on the subject of the World Baseball Classic, we can round out the show. Oh my God, you've got a book and everything.
I took notes.
We can round out this week's show with Jason's notepad of joy.
Yes. So most of the people have already talked about there's various podcasts that have talked about the Great Britain team, but the one thing no one's talked about is, do they have cards or not? So what I've done is I've gone through the supposed starting lineup of who should be for Team GB. I picked the pitcher, and I was going to look at most of the pitchers, and then realized most of those guys don't have cards. So I quickly put that down. So I'm just going to basically do 10 people there and kind of talk about the kind of starting lineup. So batting leadoff, they have Mariner prospect Harry Ford. So he is a 2021 draft pick. He was 12th overall for the Mariners. And so if you want his card, the one to get is his 2021 Bowman draft. So there are plenty of cards out for him, but if you're actually going to go chase a rookie card for him, that would be the first one there. He played in single A last year, is expected to maybe start in single A after this there. So I'm going to say it now. Out of all the guys that play for Team GB, he's the only guy's card that you'll actually have to spend some money on to get and there, because he is a hot prospect and is expected to be moved to the outfield at some point in time because he's a very athletic catcher. I
remember him from Breaking 21 draft, and he was one of the top guys to look out for in that product. What's his tenuous connection to being British? Did he fly over the UK once, going somewhere else, or?
Both his parents are British and moved to Atlanta, where he was born.
Well, shit, I'll take that back. That's way more British than I imagine most of the rest of the team are. So yes. I will eat my words and apologize profusely.
Yes. So I didn't go into everyone's nationalities because there's a few Bahamians.
No, I thought you would know his, which is why I asked. So.
I did, yes. So I did look into that, and both his parents are British, and then he was born in Georgia. So, so yes. So, because I was pretty excited that I have a connection for the Mariners and JP. So I'm hoping he does well, and there's always hope. And that's actually pretty cool that you have someone as high as a 12th overall draft pick playing for them. So I'll be watching Harry out there. I just don't call him Harrison Ford. That's all.
Yeah.
Although saying that, you hit a solo home run. The Star Wars quotes could just come out from this. This could be a really easy thing to do.
Wow, they really can. Yeah, they really can.
It's batting 2 and left field, Chavez Young. And I had to look up who Chavez Young was. So he was a 2016 pick by the Blue Jays in the 39th round. So it's pretty brutal. I could find 2 cards for them. There might be more. If you look at the 2018 Midwest League, he had a card there and an all-star card from that as well. And he currently plays with the Pirates. So that was a pretty deep dive, and there's even deeper dives here. So right field, we have Trace Thompson. So he was a 2009 draft pick with the White Sox, and his first card was the 2016 out there, and he's currently with the Dodgers. So there are plenty of his cards there, but you're better off buying his brother's rookie card. Don't bother Trace's kind of invest in basketball cards.
Who's his brother?
Klay Thompson.
Is that genuinely his brother?
Yeah. Trace is the youngest brother. Yeah, Klay Thompson's his older brother. So yeah.
Golly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, stick with the bouncy ball rather than the batted ball.
Yep. So I think that's why he's Trace, because it's 3 Trey, so kind of thing.
Nice.
Now I could be reaching. I don't know this, but it makes sense. His dad was a professional basketball player for the Blazers, so. So don't buy Trace Thompson cards unless you really want to put a Team GP set. Go buy his brother cards; they'll be worth more. He's a Hall of Famer. Third base, we have Darnell Sweetney. You're going, who? So he was drafted in 2012 in the 13th round by the Dodgers. He actually has a pretty cool cards up there. So his first card was a 2014 Leaf. And he's signed it. He's got a pretty cool signature, and he's actually wrote a little note in there like, "I can't wait to be a Dodger." So if you look on COMC, like some of his cards have some pretty cool inscriptions to it. So he's currently a free agent, and the last time he played for the KC Monarchs last year in independent ball. So he didn't play in the Negro Leagues because that would make him like 108. But,
yeah, that's funny. I thought that was the same name as the Negro League team, but yeah.
It is. They got rebranded, and they were, I can't remember what they were called before, but yes, they have a connection with the museum and everything.
Nice. That's pretty sweet.
So he last played for them, and he's currently not playing for any teams at the moment. As also, I think he's like 32, if I remember correctly.
Well, I did think that, like 2009 draft pick. I'm like, shit, that could be me.
That's Trace Thompson. No, this is
Trace Thompson. Sorry, my bad.
Oh gosh, I won't mess around with my tabs because I have all my tabs there. Shortstop Nick Ward, batting 5. So he was a 2018 draft pick from Oakland in the 34th round. So he's currently with the Phillies. So he's been seeing some time there. I saw that. And if you want any cards, he was with the Phillies now. I couldn't find any cards for him, but he played for the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, so independent ball.
Wow!
So
that is a great team name.
So it's funny that because the next guy, our first baseman Alex Crosby, was never drafted, and he played for the South Maryland Blue Crabs. See the Blue Claw, same thing. Blue Crabs, Blue Claws. I guess minor league teams there.
At least it's not the Blue Waffles. Don't Google that, kids.
I don't even want to go there like that. No, Urban Dictionary, right to the top. I got a feeling.
Yeah.
He's got a card, the 2019 Gary South Shore Railcats. So, yeah, it's pretty. You're not to say scraping the bottom of the barrel, but you're scraping.
Oh, you're diving deep. That's for sure. Yeah.
So when this is all done, probably tomorrow, I will put a list of everyone on Team GP. I will put a list of probably their link to COMC or like that there. So if you actually want to put together a list, you can probably do it. The Harry Ford card will be the most expensive one, but everyone else, you're going to get the same price as your Harry Ford card combined.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. This would be a nice Instagram series, by the way, over a few days, or a nice Twitter series over a few days.
Right, okay. I see.
Tweet out the player and their card and their...
Yeah, I can do
Content.
that. Yeah, exactly. Content. I'm assuming you're going to put that together now.
Yeah, man. Listen. I'm a gentleman of leisure. It would be a privilege to put that together.
Actually, yeah, we will talk about that up there. But yeah, that's actually not a bad shout during the WWC because we know where they all are. We can post a link about them and talk a little bit about there. I think that would be probably more interesting.
Hashtag content.
Yeah, it's all about the content. DH Justin Wiley, he was never drafted, and he played in the New Jersey Jackals of the Frontier League, and I couldn't find any cards for him. So there you go. So maybe we have to make some T and Tops Team GP cards.
I was going to say, this could be a pretty freaking short Instagram series.
Well, there's a couple pictures you'd be all right there. I didn't go to that. So this was an interesting one for me because I've seen this name around for quite some time. Second baseman Lucius Fox. So he was a 2015 international free agent. He signed with the Giants. He's gone around to a few other teams. He's currently with Nationals. Made opening day last year and then got demoted, set down. So I don't know where he's on the depth chart with the Nationals there, but seeing how good they are this season, maybe there's hope that again it makes the team this year and that.
Yeah.
But
was Lucius Fox not the name of a character played by Morgan Freeman in some superhero movie?
Yes, it is. Yeah, you can probably find more valuable Morgan Freeman than you can find the baseball player Lucius Fox there.
Wow.
You can get a Batman relic.
I was going to say, was it I couldn't remember what it was. Batman, was it?
Yeah, so that's what came up in my search when I was looking at these guys down. Lucius Fox. Nope, I need to put baseball player to make the difference there. But if you can find that Morgan Freeman Batman relic, you're all set.
Yeah, you're laughing, yeah.
But well spotted on that. Wasn't sure if you noticed that or not.
Thank you.
But yes, he's got plenty of cards there, and his earliest card was the 2016 Bowman. So you can find that there. This was interesting. You have an actual proper person who actually got a cup of coffee in the major leagues, and he's batting 8th at second base for us. So I don't know if that tells you his prospect status or not. And our center fielder Anthony Seymour, who was a 2014 7th round pick for the Marlins. So he played the last season with the Long Island Ducks. And independent ball, so you're scraping the bottom barrel of the barrel there. But you can get he's got a 2015 Panini Elite card, and you have his 2016 Bowman if you're chasing those there. So that's your starting lineup for the Team GB. I started looking at the pictures, and it was a pretty deep dive on some of them. So I'm going to stick to our number one pitcher there. Which is Vance Worley. So you might actually next to him. He had a pretty
I know. Yeah, I know that. I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a 2008 third round pick from the Phillies, but he hasn't played in the MLB since 2017 for the Marlins. So he's been out for 6 years, and he was last seen playing for the Kane County Cougars. So that's what's there.
Excellent.
So funny enough, there was a couple guys that they must have all played for the Kane County Cougars. I think we have 2 or 3 guys who have played for them, or is independent ball, and they take everybody on there. And you can get Vance Worley. He has a 2008 Donruss and a 2010 Bowman. And I'm going to mention one more guy before we get off the topic, because the 24-man roster, and we'll stick to this. It was Tyler Viza. I don't even know. Viza, V-I-Z-A. He was a 2013 32nd round draft pick from the Phillies. And what I thought was interesting, because last year he played for St. Paul, Kane County, and then he finished his season off for the CTBC Brothers in China. So, he's hanging on to that career as much as he can, and
he's putting the miles in, if nothing else.
Yeah. So, but the only card I can find for him was the 2017 Choice Reading Fighting Phillies card. So, it was a deep dive on some of these guys, and I was surprised that there wasn't more kind of minor league ready players. But who knows? Like I said, we're growing the sport. Wish them well.
or even college kids, or maybe they're not allowed to take college kids or something.
No. Another person who I didn't do a dive on is Michael Roth, who was a longtime Team GB pitcher. So I figured he was a fairly known name for Team GB, and was in the Angels system. I don't think he ever pitched for the Angels there. But yeah, we can do the 24-man roster. That gives us, well, you see, opening day is 24 days away. So there we go. That would be interesting to do.
Oh, Christ, I need to crank one out tonight.
But why don't we
can maybe do 2 a day?
Yeah, I would say 2 a day, and I'll look it up after the show. But I think, I don't know how long actually the tournament is. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but let's be honest. How far are we expecting Team GB to get? But we could do 2 a day. 12 days. 12 days of content to get out. That's pretty decent, I think.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. There we go. We can do one each, and we can do our deep dive and sure guys there, and that would be kind of fun to say. All right, we're supporting Team GB. Despite the fact that like 24 guys were born in the States and the rest of them in Bahamas.
Like I say, I think a couple of them have got British Bulldogs, and that's how they qualify.
But the same thing. So for those who don't know, and I'm sure I've talked about it before, I did run baseball in Scotland for a while. And I did go to an AGM and met Stephen Rapaglia, who was the former Team GB coach back in 2011, 2010, 2011, 2012, around there. And basically MLB gave him a list of 500 people that had British heritage, and said, here you go, pick for your team there. And funny enough, before we move on, I'm meeting Lou Olson from the podcast The Hall of Very Good, and he had a great interview with the guy that runs the Irish Baseball Society or something like that there, and it turns out Greg Maddux is Irish, so if Team Ireland ever needs a pitcher,
oh my god,
he has a link to Ireland.
That would be amazing. This reminds me of the time we tried to convince Dirk Hayhurst, the Garfoose, to come and pitch in Scotland, and we would threaten to pay him in haggis.
Yes, exactly. He was a Bills amount.
Because he was going to go and pitch in Italy for a while, right? And we were like, no, don't go to Italy. Come to Scotland. Or if it doesn't work out in Italy, come play in Scotland. We'll pay you in haggis. Yeah. And that would have been hilarious. That would have been so good if we come.
Yeah. So it was interesting. So I was catching up on a few of the Hall of Very Good podcasts, which is actually to do a very good job there. And Lou happens to be passing through these ways, so I'm meeting him on Saturday night for pints. Him and his partner, and maybe it should be an interesting chat with him and catch up. And yes, but I was.
See if he's interested in coming on the show.
You know what? I will ask him that. Nothing like crossover one there. He interviews people on the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we interview top artists.
Hey, listen, we had Lauren Taylor before anybody else, so come on.
Yeah, that's true. So,
other guest news. Braden, we should announce that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but yeah, go ahead.
No, because I can't remember his second.
Braden Bishop.
Give me under the bus, come on.
Braden Bishop, who I think we interviewed the first season there, and he announced his retirement 2 days ago and tweeted out that there. So all the best to Braden. He had a lot of stuff going on there with his charity and his coffee shop, and so we wish him all the best. And yeah, who knows? His brother's still playing for the Giants minor leagues, I believe. So maybe we can, his brother will make it there. So, I guess it's if your highlight your career is you replaced Ichiro in Japan.
That's a pretty cool highlight. That's a cool story for the grandkids. That is for sure.
Exactly. That's something you're gonna pull the video up and go, yeah, I replaced him.
Yeah. So that is sweet. Yeah. So all the very best to Braden. It was great to have him on the show. Maybe get him back on one day. That'd be kind of sweet. But yeah, I think that pretty much buttons us up for this week, doesn't it?
It is. And we'll save your Chrome rant for 2 weeks' time. And
yes, exactly. Yeah. Whilst I was researching, I discovered just how deep the Chrome problem runs with TOTS products, and it's irritating me. But I'm not going to start on it because I'll be here. Don't set me off. I've already been going for slightly over an hour, so we will keep that, and I can maybe add some more color to it between now and next couple of weeks as well. But yeah, if you're equally frustrated with the amount of Chrome product, tune in 2 weeks' time to hear me talk smack about it. But yeah, until then, I think we'll round it up there for this week. So, Jason, thanks very much again. We will, of course, have this episode out as a podcast. I'm going to download it and I'm going to schedule it tonight. so I know it's done. So, Mike, you'll have your podcast next Monday. And, of course, everyone else who listens to the podcast, we do appreciate you. Thanks very much. If you find the time to throw us a like or a little 5-star review or all these other things that you have that you should be, that would be cool on the old podcast platforms, we would appreciate it greatly. In the meantime, you can get in touch with us across our socials. You can find us now at teamtops.com. Is that what I bought? I can't remember.
We have a website now?
Well, we have a URL, that's for sure.
Yes, a link tree. So yes, Tea and Tops. Just search for Tea and Tops. No one else has Tea and Tops.
Yeah,
it's all about us.
It's teaandtops.com, and that'll take you to our link tree. So it saves us having to give out the link tree anymore.
Fantastic. There we go.
Yeah, we've actually joined the 21st century. So yeah, teaandtops.com, and you'll get a link to all our socials there. Twitch, YouTube. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, and our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is linked there as well. So any questions, any comments? What are your thoughts on Team GB? I know one collector who was trying to do it. Laura, not Laura who commented earlier on, other Laura. She was talking about putting together some kind of GB set with all the players. So I'd be interested to touch base with her to see how she's getting on.
Yep.
Or if she found it just as tricky as you did to actually track down cards of these people. We'll try and update on that in a couple of weeks. But
we'll post links. So if you're interested in buying Team GB cards, we'll post links to all the players there, so you can actually track them down if they have them or not. So
yeah, absolutely,
that'd be kind of fun. You know, like I won't be rooting for Team GB on Thursday, but Saturday. Saturday.
Oh, yeah, you've got split loyalty, right?
And then Sunday I'll be behind Team GB, so I will be sleeping during that time. So
yeah, it's a pretty rough start with USA and Canada, but let's see how they get on.
Cool.
But yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And like I said, this will be out next week, so Monday the 13th, 9 p.m. You'll be able to get this episode as a podcast. We'll be back live on Monday, the 20th of March at 9 p.m. UK with the next installment of the show. But until then, once again, Jason, thanks very much.
Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in and chatting to us. We always enjoy the engagement with you guys there, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Right on. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and see you soon.